Hey everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Clinic. This is a new podcast hosted by Dr. Molly O'Banion and myself, Ashley, just a regular gal. The premise of this podcast is all things pets and veterinary medicine. Dr. Molly is here to do that part. I am here to make sure she's using words us regular people can understand. Each episode we will dive into different aspects of veterinary medicine, interesting cases seen at the clinic, and just general advice on pet ownership in hopes of educating and giving a glimpse into our world. So, let's get started. All right, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you have decided to give us the pleasure of you listening to our lovely voices. Today we are jumping into a first for us. We are going to be talking about one of our interesting cases at the clinic. So this, and I don't know anything about this subject, so I will tell you the words, and then Molly's going to actually explain what we're talking about. But we are going to be talking about a pup who was diagnosed with a liver shunt, a specific type of liver shunt. It's in the liver, and I don't know what a shunt is.
That's so good. Okay, for the record, and this has nothing to do with this man that we're about to talk about, but I am so proud of Ashley. This week, she has done things that she hasn't done in the 6 years of working here, and she only gagged a couple of times, and she did it.
I resuscitated a puppy from a C-section. I named him Dodger.
She kind of got thrown in the situation, and she wasn't even able to put gloves on fast enough, so she did it barehanded, and I'm C-sectioning this dog, and she's in the corner kind of gagging, saying, "It's placenta's touching my arm," as she's slinging it, and she did it, and she brought it back to life without puking. It's so big.
The texture of the placenta really put me over the edge.
You're throwing yourself into this world, and I'm enjoying watching. Kind of. Probably enjoying watching more than you're enjoying doing.
I'm just here for entertainment and saving lives.
You're cute.
When I have to. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's dive into this. That was my PSA about Ashley's growth. Let's dive into this case. This is a weird one, and we don't see many of these, but when we do, it's so sad because they can't. This is one of those things that they can live with for a short period of time, but they will not have a normal lifespan, and they will not have a normal life. And it's fixable, but it's more of a specialty thing that not a lot of people do. And so if you go to fix it, it usually costs you many, many thousands of dollars, and not everybody can do that. And so it's like, it's one of those situations where it kills me because I'm like, I can fix your pet, but you have to have the money to do so. And I honestly wonder how many of these guys haven't made it just because of the finances, which is it's so horrible. It's so horrible.
Yeah.
So essentially what a liver shunt is it's a genetic issue where they're born with an abnormal blood vessel. So one of their vessels that's going up into their liver to filter out the blood before it goes back into the heart for oxygenation. That was painful.
Probably did better than I would have done.
It's bypassing the liver, and instead of going up to the liver, back to the heart, it's going into one of the oxygenated arteries, and it's flowing through the body again. So your blood flow is abnormal, and you're mixing oxygenated blood with unoxygenated blood, and you're mixing filtered blood with unfiltered blood, and it's toxic.
Okay.
So you have to get rid of that extra vessel. That abnormal vessel has to go away because you can't be mixing blood like that. You have to regain the normal blood flow route, the normal highway, if you will. And a lot of times by the time you find this, the dog is already abnormal because it's been living on toxins and carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And its normal vessels that are being bypassed are atrophied. So they're smaller than they're supposed to be, which is not fun.
Yeah.
So in this little man's case, and Hims is so cute. Hims is a Yorkie, and now as a man, not as a baby man, as a full man, he's whole 5.5 pounds. So it was like micro on top of being something specialized. And I've dealt with these medical cases before. I've diagnosed these before, but I've never done the surgery. And in this guy's case, the mom could not afford to go to one of the fancy hospitals and pay $10,000. And he was doing so well on the meds, but we knew that he couldn't survive like that. So she was like, "Please, Molly, will you just try?" And I was so nervous because I was like, I don't know if I can find it. And if I do find it, I don't have the special stuff to ligate it correctly. So if I just ligate it the old-fashioned way, like the gray hairs do, is he going to be okay? Because he's only 5 pounds. He's tiny.
Yeah.
But it was a matter of life or death. And I was able to do it for a price that she could afford. So we gave it our go. And he is alive and well. And he's thriving. And I'm so proud of him.
So let's do a quick introductory. What were we seeing at home to come in for the appointment initially?
Yeah. Okay, so he first came in when he was 9 months, 10 months, something like that. And I will read you his history at our first. He had been referred to us because he had been he had essentially gone to another clinic and they had told him, something's wrong with your liver, but we don't know what. And then they came to me. He was lethargic. He was disoriented. He was wobbly. He was losing balance. He was fly biting, which is where like they look like they're biting at flies all around their head, but there's no flies there.
Okay.
He was staring off into space. Sometimes he would circle to the left. He had been having these for a couple of weeks now. And they had told the mom that he had had a liver issue because they had an abnormal blood panel, but they didn't know exactly what was the cause of the liver issue. So she came to me and I referred her out to get an ultrasound. And on the ultrasound is where they found the abnormal vessel.
Okay.
And that's when they diagnosed him with the shunt. And then we maintained him with diet and some supportive medications while she was gathering her options for surgery, because that's the only next step.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the surgery.
Molly's very proud of herself, if you could see your face right now.
Well, it's not just proud of I am proud of myself. Let's just throw that out there. But surgery's my jam. If I could literally stand in that room all day long, cutting things open, I'd be as happy as a little clam, which I really don't understand that because clams don't have emotions.
I've talked to a lot of clams and they're so happy all the time.
Well, I want to be one of them.
Okay. I'll build you a shell.
You have to stick me in surgery. So we were 100% honest and open with the mom. I had never done this surgery. I knew theoretically how to do it. I knew the steps to take. I had watched a YouTube video, but I had never physically done it. But it was life or death. She didn't have a choice. So here I am doing it. Okay. So
Sweaty.
are you ready? If you don't like blood and guts, maybe now you skip forward a little bit because I'm going to go into depth. Okay. So we put him on the surgery table, all 5 pounds of him. Him so big. We opened his abdomen. I did an explore and everything looked normal. And then I dug down deep. So the abdomen has this fatty kind of connective tissue called omentum. And it's supposed to bring blood flow to everything, hydrate everything. It's kind of like the body's Band-Aid for a lot of stuff. So if something happens, it connects to that and it helps it heal. I don't know what that was, but it was like healing the thing stuck to it. And the omentum is great. It's not really an organ, but it's kind of an organ. It should be its own organ. Soapbox. The omentum's in the way in this procedure. So you have to kind of tear through it. And I kind of felt guilty because I didn't want to hurt him, but I did. So you tear through it right next to the duodenum, like in between the duodenum and the pancreas and the stomach, like in the little hole. Mm-hmm. So you tear through the omentum and you look down deep in this little hole. And along his spine, essentially, you find the portal vein that's going up into the liver. You find the caudal vena cava that's coming down from the heart. And there's different types of liver shunts because this vessel can grow in different places, but his was a pretty standard one. So there was this little attachment vessel that was going from the portal vein to the caudal vena cava, just cranial to the right kidney, the right
I'm so
the
lost.
right renal artery. And so I found the renal artery, I found the caudal vena cava, I found the portal vein, and there was this little connection. I was like, that's not supposed to be there. That must be you. And then I followed the portal vein up into the liver, and the portal vein was atrophied up into the liver like it was, supposed to be. Not supposed to be, but it is supposed to be in these guys because it's not doing its normal job. And I was like, okay, veins are less thick than arteries.
I understand that.
So they tear easier.
Okay.
And this is a vein.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
Okay, also quick question, says I'm sure everyone else is as lost as I am right now. So the vein that you were looking for,
mm-hmm.
the shunt connected to the eastern cardial whatever. I don't know. I kind of blacked out. But is it Is the vein supposed to, is it supposed to be there?
No.
So it's just, so you know what the map is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm. And I had to find the abnormal road.
Okay.
And I'm looking in a tiny hole that I have opened in the omentum that's probably the size of a quarter
Okay.
to try to find the abnormal road
Okay. Now
in a 5-pound dog.
Now I'm here. I'm back.
And I don't want to ligate something that's supposed to be there
Right.
because then that means death.
Right. High risk.
And so they make these little things. They're like these little rings that you put on these and you tighten the ring, and the ring over time closes. So it gives that atrophied vessel that's supposed to be there time to stretch. I don't have those rings.
Oh. So what did you do?
So I had to ligate it very, very slowly and make sure that the vessel could then handle the blood flow. Thank God it wasn't a 150-pound Great Dane, because then we might have had real problems. Him being 5 pounds probably helped me in this situation. Yeah. So that the vessel could adequately hold the blood volume that was now circulating the right way through it. And I had to watch very closely to all of his GI tract to make sure it didn't start turning black.
All while we're still on the table under anesthesia.
Working in a quarter-sized hole down deep.
How long was this process? How long did that surgery last?
Less than an hour. I'm pretty fast.
I know you're fast, but I didn't know how quickly the body would react.
Well, I just so I tied my ligature, but I didn't tighten it. I just kind of like really gradually, slowly tightened it down.
Okay.
And I would wait like 5 minutes and watch everything, and then I'd tighten a little more and wait 5 minutes and watch everything.
Okay.
And everything looked fine. So then I said, okay.
Here we go.
And I tied it, and then I watched everything, and everything looked fine. And we were watching his blood pressures, and they were fine. And he wasn't crashing. So then I said, okay. And I closed him up.
And then done. And then
I puckered for like 24 hours.
Puckered what? Both ends.
And the next morning I called the mom and I was like, please tell me he's fine. And she said, he's eating. And I said, thank God. And he's thriving. He had a bit of bloody diarrhea.
But that can be a side effect of anesthesia
and
stress on the body.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what that was from. And now he's fine. And he's active. And he's running around like a crazy man. And he's doing his damn thing.
Doing his dorky thing.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know.
That'd
Scary.
be stressful.
So now I have officially done a portosystemic shunt. So I'm ready to do all the other ones. But I need to get the ring thing.
Portosystemic?
Portosystemic shunt.
I said it. Yes. Let's get you these rings.
I need the rings. Because then I don't have to pucker as hard. Oh, man.
We'll reduce Molly's puckering.
So theoretically, now, because that vessel is ligated, he's normal.
Ligated means?
Closed.
Closed.
So he's normal. So he can live his normal Yorkie life and hopefully not have any issues ever again.
That's awesome. And again, it was diagnosed around 9 or 10 months old, and it was surgery or euthanasia. Like, there's no mitigating with medicines.
Well, we had managed him for about a year and a half on medications, but it won't last forever.
Okay.
Like, he's going to succumb eventually if that thing was not fixed.
Okay.
And so it was life or death.
Yeah.
And Mom didn't have $10,000.
Who does?
Frick. I mean, seriously, I just can't. I think that we're pricing ourselves out of a lot of care on these guys, and I can go on to a whole nother soapbox. I'm full of soapboxes. Don't get me started. Don't rile me up. Stay calm.
I'm going to get you riled, baby.
No. But I fixed it. And see, that's what I love so much about surgery, because I don't have to, like, second guess myself and double check things and, hey, let's try this medicine and see if it works. I can cut it open. I can close the thing. I can take out the tumor. I just fix it. And then the dog wakes up and all's good and everybody can go party and eat some crawfish. Don't feed your dogs crawfish.
Don't feed your dogs crawfish.
So I fixed him and he's thriving, and I've done a portosystemic shunt procedure, and I only lost about 5 years of my life in stress on it. And
you look great.
But it was fun. I think I would do it again.
So, now that surgery is done, dog went home, we're living our best life. Do we need to continue watching out for something to pop up? Do we stay on supportive medication?
I mean, I think we need to monitor his liver for the rest of his life. So just, serial blood checks like once a year. And if he wants to stay on a liver-based diet for a while just to keep the work off his liver, I think that's a great idea too. But theoretically, he's a normal bupper now that can go do buppy things with his buppy friends.
Buppies.
Buppy. Which is great.
Yeah. He's living his best life, the man.
Well, and he's only like 2. He's got a whole life ahead of him. Who knows what he could accomplish.
He's got a lot of trouble to make.
So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I guess you could call it a case review.
Yeah.
I like talking about these success stories. I think we need a little bit of motivation and happiness in our lives. So I want to continue doing a couple of these spread out sparsely through the episodes. If you have a case that you'd like to share with us that you want us to talk about, I'm totally down for that. If you have a specific topic that you have questions about, like maybe your dog also got diagnosed with a portosystemic shunt and you want to know more about it, you can send us something like that and I can talk about any of those. Just shoot me an email. You know the drill.
drmollydvm@gmail.com, and we will see you next time.
Make good incisions.
Thank you for joining us on Tales from the Clinic. Again, we are your hosts, Dr. Molly and regular Ashley. For more insider scoops into the vet med life and pet ownership, hit that subscribe button for updates on new episodes, and of course, share our channel to spread the word. Check the podcast notes below to see how you can get in contact with us. You can find all of Dr. Molly's affordable pet healthcare clinics on social media as well. Thanks again, and talk soon.